What's up, guys? Shakes Rampedi here, back with another episode of Playing the Field with Shakes. We talk about CAF, we talk about the Calabash. We also will look at the other results within the DStv Premiership. And Brandon Truter, did you really say that? Let's see those comments. Let's go.
That's how it goes?
They keep asking about the best when they know it's me.
Okay.
Asking about the rest when they know it's me.
Straight in, I guess.
You know it's me.
So guys, let's kick things first off with the CAF Confederations Cup. So Orlando Pirates obviously are in the semi-finals of this tournament, facing off against Al Ahly Tripoli and winning that game in the first leg 2-0. When I actually watched this game, I could not believe how comfortable it was. And you have to give credit to how Orlando Pirates made Al Ahly Tripoli so afraid to sort of play against them. Their defense was really good. I think even every attack that Al Ahly tried to put towards Orlando Pirates with regards to going down the wing, trying to get the crosses in, playing down the middle, there was just absolutely no way. And to be honest, it was just too comfortable. I don't think Orlando Pirates throughout the game was necessarily tested. I don't think Richard Ofori was stretched throughout. And for them to have gone there and Mayela having to get the first goal and as well as Musela getting the second goal, I think for them, I don't see Al Ahly coming to South Africa in the second leg and overturning that. I think something very drastic would have to happen. But when we're talking about drastic, I think 2 red cards would possibly be needed. That's how unimpressed I was with Al Ahly Tripoli. I really was unimpressed with the way that they played, how they were at home. And I think also just the fact that there were no fans in the stadium, you could just see that Orlando Pirates just took that on board. And I've got a message for Orlando Pirates, a huge one, and especially for the coaches who have been under pressure throughout the season, but even the players, for them who have underperformed as well throughout the season. I think this is a chance at silverware. It's a chance to sort of overwrite what has gone wrong within the season. Domestically, we have been able to see that it hasn't been so great. But to be able to get a tournament on the continent, get a medal from the Europa League of Africa that you'd say, I think it's a very good, it would probably boast as sort of a good season. Not a great one considering what has happened domestically, but it would boast as a very good one. And I look at the teams that are left in. TP Mazembe won their game against Bekan as well. I think they might meet up in the final. And when you've seen both teams that have played each other, one has won and the other one has won. And I just think this is the chance to go to the final, to win a medal, and to turn a average season into a very good one. Sticking with CAF, they've made an appointment, and that appointment is of just come down with Kaizer Chiefs. She's been appointed into the organizing committee for women's football with part of CAF. And I see this as a move that uplifts women's football. And one thing I love to see throughout that's been happening throughout the week is the fact that there have been people that have been endorsing this move. SAFA has endorsed this move. Broadcasters have been endorsing this move. And I think also it's safe to say that Playing the Field with Shakes endorses the move as well. Because when you look at the work that she's done with Kaizer Chiefs, the biggest compliment I could give to Just Come Down is the fact that to take a team that on the pitch has not been able to deliver results within 7 years, not been able to win anything significant within 7 years. But still, you see the brand everywhere. You see the brand being able to collaborate with other brands as well. And that's the brilliant work that she has done, that despite the team not being so successful, she's still able to make it so marketable. And I think she's going to go there, and I think she's definitely going to add to that committee as well, having to bring more to the AFCONs, having to bring more to the CAF Champions League competitions for the women's game as well. And it's something that is definitely needed. So for me, it's a chapeau and congratulations and good luck. So back at home within the DStv Premiership, the Calabash played on Sunday, which was Kaizer Chiefs going up against Mamelodi Sundowns. Great game that it was, ended 1-1. And I think what I appreciate about that game was the fact that both teams went for it. It was a very open game. If you probably had seen the Kaizer Chiefs understood Baxter, they probably would have waited for Mamelodi Sundowns to come onto them and they probably would have played on the counter. But this time around, that was when I had them pressing, had them playing on the front foot. And when I think about the 90 minutes that I played, I'm actually disappointed in Mamelodi Sundowns a little bit. And I'll tell you why I'm disappointed in Mamelodi Sundowns is because eventually what they do so well, they're able to adapt their game to the opposition. So when the opposition is playing sort of a different type of football, or they're bringing a different strategy into the game, they're able to adapt that they match the other team. And when they matched Kaizer Chiefs, they started to control the game. They started to control the game, control the tempo. You could just see that Kaizer Chiefs was playing towards their tempo. It's almost as if you're looking at a snake and it's moving its head. You moving it at the same time. They're controlling you guys. And that's what they were doing so well. That's why they were able to take the lead. But I think because of that, they got so complacent that they allowed Kaizer Chiefs back into the game. And that's the brilliance of Atazwane, having to be able to make the subs to bring in the pace of Sekhukhune, who comes up front as well, who's able to add Nukovic as well, who's able to be a threat as well up front, bringing in those players. And that's then when they pushed on and gathered more pressure, and eventually Nanga scored a brilliant equalizer, and they could have also won the game. And it was a massive miss for Kaizer Chiefs, man, to have not won this game, because of the penalty that was missed within the game as well. And because of that, the top two, the race for top two, which second place takes the CAF Champions League spot, you sort of find it hard as to if they're going to make it there past the Cape Town City, who is in brilliant form, past the Royal AM as well, who is hard to beat as well. And I want to talk about that battle for top two. So I'm putting all the teams there. As you can see, there's Cape Town City, there's Royal AM, there's Kaizer Chiefs, and there's Orlando Pirates. So all four teams having to fight to sort of get into second place. Of course, third place focuses on CAF Confederations Cup, but we're talking about the Champions League. And I was asking myself, which team do I think will actually get the second spot? And I look at Cape Town City's games. As you can see, they've got AmaZulu at home, and then they've got Stellenbosch that they have to play away. Royal AM still have to play against Orlando Pirates, go to Golden Arrows, and as well as play Sundowns as well still. So you probably would say of the four teams, that's probably the harder run of the four teams. And then Kaizer Chiefs, Sekhukhune away, and as well as they've got Swallows at home. And then you look at Orlando Pirates being the final one, who mathematically can still make second place, who's sitting on 40 points. They're playing against Royal AM away, and it's going to be Maritzburg at home, and as well as SuperSport United away. And when I look at those games, of course, I think Orlando Pirates going up against Royal AM, someone is going to knock each other out of that sense. So both teams won't be able to collect 3 points. And you look at the form that Cape Town City are starting to sort of build. They've pushed themselves into the second place spot, and I think they can stay there. I think AmaZulu is going to be a hard game. When you just look at that, I think AmaZulu is going to be a hard game. But Stellenbosch, on the other hand, I think it's just looking at the form that Stellenbosch is in this year, not being able to collect as many wins, I think Cape Town City can be able to get a result. And as for Kaizer Chiefs, they're running out of games, and I think they only have themselves to blame in the sense that they were not being able to collect points. And I think Sekhukhune is something they can get. You look at Sekhukhune's form as well, conceding goals, not winning games as well. But Swallows too, a team that has got very good players, but for some reason are just not a team. If I was to put my head on the chopping block, I think Cape Town City makes second place. I think Cape Town City makes history and eventually go to the CAF competitions, being the Champions League. So, but we'll have to see. This is football. You can't necessarily predict it, but that's the talk for battle for the top two. Sticking on to Cape Town City, they played against TS Galaxy. I was watching that game. Very impressed with the way that they played, and impressed not because they played well. I actually thought TS Galaxy were the better side with the ball. What I was impressed by with Cape Town City was the ability to struggle as a team, was the ability to sort of stick together. And what Eric Tinkler has them doing so well is when they lose the ball, it's just like every player just knows how to fall back into shape. And also considering the fact that with Mashego having to run up and down the left-hand side, he obviously leaves that space in the gap, but they're able to just work as a team and being able to cover each other in that space. And I want to just give them an admiration. I think it's something that a lot of teams can take, because the story of Cape Town City and what they've gone through this season in terms of the players that they lost in January, just to find them where they are in the league is remarkable. It is really remarkable. So if you look at the transfers, this was the January transfers. These are the transfers that the players left the club within January. And as you can see on the screen, it's Ralani, very crucial player to them. Fragri Lakay, very crucial to them. Mubar as well. Was not getting many minutes, but was a very good squad player to have. Ajugan as well, who's gone, who's left the club. And Edmilson Dove as well. Very key to them as well. You look at those players, and those players could start in a lot of teams within the DStv Premiership. but they were able to sort of get finances off those players. And you even look at the business that they've done as well. Look at the players that they brought in. Now, these are the players that they've brought in, as you can see on screen. So Mogamat May came in, Erwin Gonzalez, and as well as Kajali Drame. And you look at that player who is young, is only within his teens, and you can tell that he's going to grow into be a great player. I think also just a shout out to Eric Tinkler. I think he's a very good coach. I think if you're able to lose that amount of experience, that amount of appearances as well, and still be able to push your team into the second place position on the league, I think it just only highlights how much of a good team you are. And I think when I say teams can take notes from them, is that you can also lose players if need be, if the price is right, or maybe even if their chapters are over, because eventually that does come. And you can start a new leaf, bring in new players. And they always say a new broom sweeps clean as well. And I've got some numbers, just some quick numbers for you guys to see as well. Only one loss in 2022, 7 wins within 13 games, 16 goals scored, and as well as could get that second place, which I think they will get. So a shout out to Cape Town City for sure. Now let's move away from things on the pitch and let's focus on things off the pitch. So last week, AmaZulu played against Swallows. It was at the Dobsonville Stadium and AmaZulu got the crucial points. Now, it didn't end there. There was more drama afterwards because the coach of AmaZulu is the former coach of Swallows. Now, after the game, after his victory that he got, he said some things. And I couldn't believe that he probably spoke within this way, but this is the things that he did say. At AmaZulu, there's a massive support from the management, from the chairman to the technical team, the kit man, and everybody. Truly speaking, I was not afforded that at Swallows. There was very little support at Swallows. The support at AmaZulu has also given me good players as well, and you can see the turnaround. Swallows coach Dylan Kerr had 19 games to turn it around, and for a coach that is worth his salt, he could have turned it around. He is a foreign coach. He should be doing better than local coaches. So again, it is at a point for local coaches. This means a lot for me and should be looking at local coaches and not cheap foreign imports. That's a quote. He finishes off by saying, I couldn't speak to the media about these things. He's referring at the time when he was leaving Swallows. This is the settlement agreement, but they have breached that agreement by not paying the settlement. They haven't paid me as well. They've breached that again. I'm going to PSL to get my money. Yeah. So that is AmaZulu coach Brandon Truter. And ever since he made those comments, Swallows management came out and they said that they're dealing with that package with the PSL that apparently is a settlement. They were not very happy about his comments as well. And Dylan Kerr himself has come out, even in his game that he played last Friday. He spoke about having to be not bad for a cheap foreign import when he got a draw. And as well, he tweeted as well to say that last year, this time around, he won the Nedbank Cup. And he said not bad for a cheap foreign import. So he's obviously hurt by those comments, that's for sure. I looked at those comments and I thought to myself, I don't think it was the right thing for him to do, Brandon Truter. There's certain things I shouldn't know as a football fan. You know, if you can tell that he's obviously pretty hurt at the fact that the way that him and Swallows parted ways, and maybe perhaps he hasn't gotten his agreement. But it can't lead you to a point where you sort of insulting your colleagues now, calling them cheap foreign imports. And I sort of was asking myself, why am I talking about this today? I was talking about it because how does it affect his job at AmaZulu now? Because you must also remember, this is an audition phase for him. He's auditioning. And at this moment, he's unbeaten and he's getting results. Things are lovely. You know, things are lovely. But when you come out with comments like that against your former club, against the management, even against the coach, who is a colleague as well, will AmaZulu be sitting there wondering, I mean, what happens to us if things don't go right between the both of us? You know, is he going to sing into the media? Is he going to tell everybody what is the situation? So not only did that taint his reputation a little bit, because he also did come out to radio. He did apologize to say that, you know, the comments, but he also said it was the truth. He's apologizing for if it hurt anybody. So I just hope that it does not affect the situation in terms of which coach does Amazulu go with. And I just think the next time, Brandon Truter just handle it a lot better. There's certain things that us fans are just simply not meant to know. And I sincerely hope that he deals with stuff like this a lot better in future. Now let's focus on the battle at the bottom now. It's getting very heated. You can see teams are now starting to get more focused because they left with only a couple of games. You saw the game on Friday between Swallows and SuperSports. Goals galore that was happening within that game. I think there was a penalty shout that I think you could question it. You could definitely question it. And as well as also the game of the weekend for me was between Chippa versus Baroka. Both teams, 6-pointer, very important for both teams because they're both right down there at the bottom. And I felt that Baroka really needed to win this game. I also felt that Chippa having to get the draw sort of now takes them out of the 16th position picture. Now, as you can see, that's the table at this moment. So if you see those teams, I'm only counting in TS Galaxy, Swallows, and Baroka. Now it's that heated time. Each team only has 2 games to go. Now I ask myself the question, who is going to survive? Now everybody knows how it works within the DStv Premiership. If you finish last place, which is 16th place, it's automatic relegation. 15th is when you go into the relegation playoffs. So now let's just focus on having to finish in the last place. TS Galaxy have got Gallants at home, Chippa away, and Swallows have got Chippa at home, and they've got Kaizer Chiefs away. Baroka's got SuperSport United at home, and as well as Maritzburg United away. It's very key that Chippa's going to be having a big say in terms of who is going to finish last place. But the team that is under the most pressure, you'd probably have to say, is Baroka, because they're sitting right there down last place. And I think they need to get 6 points. I would say they need to get 6 points. And I think what's also helping them is Swallows, on the other hand, who just keep on faltering. Swallows is the one team that sort of also confuses me in a sense that when you look at man-to-man of each player, you don't understand how they're down there in that position. I think the players have to blame themselves for being there. If you don't have the attitude, this is what's going to happen to you. And TS Galaxy, on the other hand, I think C. Dramovic as well has them playing well, keeping the ball. I think they should be safe, and I think they should be able to collect points between Gallants and as well as Chippa, and I would probably say they've got the easier running. So as it currently stands, who is going down? You'll find out next week. Speaking about teams that are not necessarily in good form at this moment, I picked out one that possibly has overachieved this season. I mean, they're new to the DStv Premiership. They got promoted, and this is Sekhukhune United. I saw these numbers and I was quite surprised at how bad their 2022 has been. And I think the problem is that you probably have with Sekhukhune, I think they achieved too early. I really do think that they achieved too early. And I've got these numbers for you. Only 1 win in 2022, 7 losses out of 12 games, 0 goals scored in their last 5 games. Wow, you can definitely tell as to the reason why they brought in Owen Dagama to sort of shore up that defense in terms of having to be so leaky, but also having to find a way to attack. And I think they're just preparing for next season. But luckily for them, I do still feel that they've overachieved, but I could not believe how bad their 2022 has been. Welcome to Bet of the Week. So Bet of the Week is the segment where I put my bets on a bet slip and hoping that they turn green instead of red and hoping that I can win some cash. I'm kind of upset. I'm kind of frustrated because in my last bet slip, just one game cost me, man. Like that one game cost me. And most of the teams had both teams had scored. When you look at the Villarreal and as well as Liverpool tie, both teams had scored. Man City against Real Madrid, both teams had scored. You look at even the weekend, Tottenham against Liverpool, both teams had scored. Rangers against Leipzig, both teams had scored. But Frankfurt and West Ham, both teams didn't score. I'm going to get it. It's just one more. But for this week, I've picked 3 games this time around. So the 3 games that I've picked is tonight, Villa going up against Liverpool. I think Liverpool's going to win this game. I think Liverpool is angry considering the fact that they dropped points against Tottenham. And I'm going to go with a Liverpool win and over 1.5 goals. The reason why I say over 1.5 goals is because I'm not sure if Liverpool's going to score a lot as well. I just think they're going to get the job done and move ahead. But considering the goal difference, they need to score a lot of goals. And I'm going to go with the Liverpool and over 1.5 goals. Next game that I'm going to go is Leicester up against Norwich. Yes, I've picked the most unlikely game, but that's because Norwich is just sort of giving it to you in the sense of their form. They're conceding goals, they're not winning games, and I've gone with a Leicester straight win. I think Leicester, they're going to get the 3 points within this game. Last but not least, Tottenham going up against Arsenal. Tough. I didn't know how to go within this game, but I knew it had to be on the bet slip. And without risk, there's no reward as well. So I've gone with a Tottenham win or draw and under 3.5 goals. So I don't think there will be a lot of goals, but I also don't think Tottenham are going to lose at home. And what is very nice about this is that my odds at this current moment are standing at 4.62. That means I can make 4 times my money back. So that's my bet of the week. Don't forget to place your bets at betway.co.za. So we've come to the end of the show, guys. But before we go, Thembi and as well as Percy scoring goals this past weekend. Khatlana having to get a goal against Aiba and getting a goal against Levante in the previous week. Percy showing his class. 2 goals, 2 assists for Al-Ahly. Him and Pitso Sumane getting closer to the CAF Champions League final. Great first leg result, and I just want to give you guys a shout out for those fantastic performances over the weekend. And as for you guys that are watching, thank you guys for watching. Really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell button so that you are notified for future episodes. Thank you for watching. Peace.